4B. But this public authority, they are not complying it. And for that we can't take action. And then it's just like that, that this act has given us the, banduk, lekin guli to diya nahi hai, no guli, so we can shoot. So this is just like that. So bina guli ka banduk, it's like that. Then I have had interaction with some of the public authority. What's the reason that you people are not, coming up with this provision in this act? What I am told is that first thing is that they have no, resource. They have got some resource to compile this and then upgrade it. This is another problem. Then second problem, they said it's a lot of manpower requires. We don't have that. The government is not providing. And third thing is that for a long time record is not properly maintained. It is dumping there in the record rooms. Now who will do that? To take a long time. So these are the reply from them. So I don't know what way I should post them. And then few days back also someone come, I think to Odisha. He said they did do some website for the Odisha government, that memorandum of understanding, that implementation of that section 4B. I said if it is very good thing, then first you sign with our information commission, then you go. Then I suggested also, as you mentioned, then let the public apply that why section 4 is not implemented, and they want a copy of that implementation of section 4B from the public authority. I think that there is one aspect. Then I can ask the PIO and direct them to do it, and if don't comply, I can do penalize. But not like otherwise it has been suggested that a specific PIO has to be appointed for that, because that is not the PIO's duty. Section 5, 6, 7 is very clearly it is mentioned. So that is one aspect. Indirectly, we can ask them to implement one by one. It's also that way it can be implemented. And then this is, I think, as Gandhi Civil Society who has to file RTI application. See what is the section 4 implemented section 4 by your public authority. Then we will ask why you have not done. So that is one suggestion I can put forward. Thank you. And then
basically, we are trying to do everything at a time. It is not that all 17 sections of the subclasses of the section 4 need to be applied, but at least there are few of the things, major things which can be done. That is, even the rules and regulations of the of an officer. It is definitely not in the godown or in the record room. The other is the subsidies available to the. These are out of 17, only 1 or 2 are the major things that needs to be require a lot of effort. But all other things are there, like statutory duties or their official duties, or what is the decision making process. Now I am giving you a small example of the Chief Minister's Relief Fund. Now it's a laughing matter, even if I remember that how the funds were given in our inspection, that we thought. It was given to kabaddi players, it was given to weightlifters, it was given to all those things. But let us ask all our we are all call ourselves an activist. But do you know the form of system of getting a Chief Minister relief fund? The answer is very clear no. We do not know. So we do not know. So what is section 4? Is that even to get a Chief Minister relief fund, what is the form that is required? What are the enclosures that are required? What is who will be the authority? Even that, if it is not able to come into the section 4 in the website of the government, then I think activists do not know what we want. There is one format system that has been followed in Pune, and something is I am trying to do it in my own ward. I am not interested in the whole of the municipal corporation. I just would like to do it in one ward. That is, one day is kept for section for all the records to be seen in that particular ward or in the Pune Municipal Corporation, whole of the Pune Municipal Corporation, between 4 and 6, if I am not 3 to 5. And all the queries about the RTI Act they can ask, and officers will be available. In one of our, in my municipal corporation, in one ward, because I have been dealing much with the municipal corporation, so I know what are the basic requirements of the citizens and what they want, what are the subsidies and what they want. So we have told that the first requirement is that how the corporator fund is used. Now I said, whatever the work orders which are there for the corporator fund, please keep it on one file and let the citizen come and see whenever they want. What are the work orders issued by the ward officials himself, because it is more than the corporator fund. And why the people are behind politicians, sometimes I feel it is better that the total work order which is issued is possible. Then we have said we are trying to train one person how a person can do the social audit of the work orders, that is possible. So these are the avenues we can think about it and we can be part of that. The other is the section 4.1. Now section 4.1 does not require anything of following. All the government offices have been done. That is, they are computerized. They are all interlinked with via intranet. They have all computer facilities available. Then there is no necessity to transfer the application, though the system is only to transfer the application from one public authority to other public authority. They can only transmit the application, get the information from the system of transmit to that, and one PIO can supply the information. But today we are not doing that. So there are few clauses which can be done by itself. There is no necessary that there should be so much of efforts to be done by the public authority. They are not doing is this because there will be people are doing social audit. Some of them are asking questions. Their work will be checked. Their macro level of audit will be possible. So these things is not that civil society need to pressure, but I think the information commissioner need to see how many of the clauses that can be done offhand. If this is not done, then there is some other way that effort is less taken. Just not everything cannot be done by the civil society. It's not possible. It's really not possible for a civil society to do everything and see everything about it. We can be only a facilitator. We cannot be a doer of everything. That is what I feel as that. Thank you.
Thank you, Vikram.
In our state, taking cue of the section 4.4, dissemination at a lower cost, we did go to the Information Commission in several cases and brought out that we wanted this declaration, especially section 4.1a and 4.1b in printed form. And our pleadings with the commission also was considered, and they have reduced the cost to 50% of what the actual cost for that fees. And there is no fees for the application as per that section 4.4. This itself is an incentive to several civil society organizations throughout the state, that most of the civil society organizations are first asking section 4.1b. That itself ensures that the people or the public authorities which have not done the whole exercise are compelled to do it, or else they can approach the commission. This is an advantage, and this order for the Information Commission has been also gazetted and notified also now. That's one thing we can all follow in the other states, so that if they reduce cost is there, people are encouraged to apply for the, especially only section 4.1b or 4.1a, and they get those documents.
This is a very powerful section actually, and possibly we may not have given as much attention to this, the enforcement of this section, as we could have. Now 4.1b says publish, but then 4.2 says through various means of communication including internet. Right, which means you can perhaps even order Doordarshan to put up a particular scheme or an order, etc., affecting people on television. In the right to food case, to enable the dissemination of information, Supreme Court said all the schemes and all the orders of the court in the state languages will be broadcast on television prime time. Printouts of all the BPL list, APL list will be put up on the schools and public buildings and so on. Yeah, so this is a very powerful section where I think a little bit more thought as to how we can, apart from the High Court. The High Court is clearly a body that can, in a focused way, direct the dissemination of information, clearly. Now, whether the commission can do it. See, I think the problem seems to be that if you pass an order under 19, saying that, comply and put up a scheme or whatever, that there's no way to enforce the order, right? That seems to be the problem. But if you look at the penalty clause, the last part is obstructed in any manner in furnishing of information. So if in a particular complaint or appeal you make an order to the PIO, then you direct the PIO to take the assistance of the Chief Executive Office of his public authority, take his assistance in the disclosure of information, pass a specific order that all this information should be disclosed suo motu, then a penalty against the Chief Executive Officer of the public authority, and penalties against him under Section 20 for refusing to abide with an order under Section 19 for the enforcement of a Section 4B. So there is an avenue even within the Act for the imposition of penalties on the Chief Executive Officer, the deemed PIO, for refusing to obey an order under 19.
Would you like to react to that?
I just wanted to say, taking up one or two points, that first of all, I agree that Shailesh's expectations from the civil society are unrealistic. Civil society has to look after the whole government, not just the right to information. People have one specific task. So, whatever we do as best as we can. I think the information commissions can do much more. I'm not speaking about you specifically in general. And I would supplement what you've said, which I agree with, but I feel that even in terms of awarding of compensation, there is a clear case made out that if a person puts a complaint saying that I was not able to access this information, which I should have been able to access under 4.1b, and therefore I have had to file applications or whatever it is, compensation. Now the advantage of compensation is, and this is where the whole problem comes, that it's very difficult to levy a penalty unless there is an identifiable PI. You have given one path which one hopes will work in the courts of law. I had suggested another path which the IC from Karnataka who's gone felt was not practical, and that was that we should insist that a PIO be designated to look after Section 4 so that it becomes clearer in that sense. But the third part is not to go to the penalty route at all, but to go to the compensation. Now the advantage of that is, and correct me if I'm wrong, but there are many former civil servants here, that if a department keeps having to pay out even 5,000, 10,000 rupees as compensation, there are going to be audit questions. Sometime or the other, somebody is going to ask this question that why are you paying out this money? And the question will come up that, therefore we should do something about it. The last point I want to make is, which was briefly made yesterday, and I'm glad that Mishra Saab from the CIC is now here because he had supported this, that it's not just these 60